This is not financial advice. This is entertainment only. What are the reasons for owning Tesla? There are financial, intellectual, and almost spiritual reasons for owning Tesla. The first reason has to be Elon Musk. He is a verified genius, and not just in the sense that he's kind of smart. This is a man that's paradigm busting in the nature that Thomas Edison, Albert Einstein, and Charles Darwin were. He's presenting us with a new view of what's possible and what can be done, and is showing us every day. He's coming up with new ideas all the time, to the point where he is the point of innovation and where science and NASA is going nowadays. He seemingly can use his genius to solve most any problem. He also is the CEO of SpaceX, which NASA has contracted with. He does not have really the background educationally to be doing that. He is the chief engineer and designer of that company. And when they talked to him about how he did that, he said, well, I do have a background in physics. But he more or less said he learned what he needed to learn about rockets by talking to experts in the field and going to the library and getting some books. And, it's not all that hard. The information is out there. You just go out there and get it. Well, I imagine if you're a super genius, you can say things like that. And the rest of us are left shaking our heads. He helped develop PayPal. And it seems like several major people came out of the development of PayPal, which is very interesting. But his intention is to do good in the world. And it's not just talk. Imagine that you helped found PayPal as he did. And he was paid somewhere like $100 million. It might be more than that, less than that, but it was somewhere around there. And then he started SpaceX and Tesla, and basically the companies were close. They were both at a critical point. And what he did is he split the 100 million or whatever it was in two, and he gave half to each company because he compared it to like keeping your children alive. That's how deep his commitment is to these companies. And both of these companies he sees as space exploration, increasing the survivorship of mankind, and Tesla helping with climate change. And if he was in it for the money, he would have quit at 100 million and retired and called it a day. And I think many people would do that. But he keeps involved. He doesn't have to work as hard as he does. He sleeps like 6 hours a day. And he says, well, I need that much sleep, otherwise I'm exhausted and can't, and my productivity goes down. But who amongst us would make that kind of money and then keep working 18 hours a day? It's someone who's motivated and is motivated to do good things. I think that was even his support of Dogecoin. Basically, Dogecoin, the motto of Dogecoin is to do good in the world. And I think that just resonated with him so much because basically he will say over and over that's what he's trying to do. That's where he gets his meaning. That's where he finds his purpose, is doing good in the world. And I believe him on that. Another reason is that Tesla has made the best cars in the world. Their Model S Plaid is the fastest production car ever made. It will go 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. They were going to make a Model S Plaid Plus, but they decided not to do that because who really needs to go faster than 0 to 60 in 2 seconds? I mean, what are you going to try to do? Get it down to a second? Already at the drags, the Tesla Model S Plaid is beating all these high performance cars that cost $1 million maybe. They beat Lamborghini every day. They actually, on some drag strips, they actually have to slow down because the rules of the drag strip are if your car goes a certain amount of fast, if it goes a certain speed, above a certain speed, you have to have parachutes come out of the back of your car. And if they floored that car, they would have to put parachutes on it according to the rules of the drag strip. So what they end up doing is they're racing like a Lamborghini, and they actually have to let up on the gas so that they don't go over the speed limit, which would require them to have extra equipment on the car, and they would get kicked off the drag strip. So it's really amazing. And more than just speed, Teslas are made better than other cars. They're built for speed, sure, but they're just overall better engineered than any other car. It is amazing to me. I have a Model S long range, a 2021, but it's just your regular long range Model S, and it goes 0 to 60 in 3.1 seconds. Now, my brothers had every form of hot car known to mankind when I was growing up, and these were the muscle cars, the Firebirds and the Camaros, and these kinds of things. And they were hot cars, and when they hit the gas, the tires squealed, the exhaust came out, the earth was moving. I have a car now that would beat any one of those cars and leave them in the dust, okay? When I hit the gas, the tires don't squeal. It makes no noise. My God, how did they engineer this to do this? I mean, they say the drag strips, when they're testing out the Tesla and they're just seeing how fast it'll go, there's birds that are sitting around, and the birds don't even get disturbed because it's a quiet electric car. You have a car that's beating other dragsters that is just quiet. The engineering is beyond belief on these cars. Even the metal that the Tesla cars are made out of is better. They use an aluminum alloy that was invented at SpaceX for rockets, okay? And they use this aluminum alloy on the Tesla cars. So literally, you're driving around in a space-age car. Tesla is committed to designing their own stuff as much as possible. They used to use a computer chip from NVIDIA in their full self-driving program that they're trying to get to full self-driving. They haven't gotten there yet, but they probably will get there. They used to use the NVIDIA chip, but they made a leap ahead by designing their own chip and then having Samsung make it for them. Part of Elon Musk's thinking regarding Tesla is that it's also an energy storage company. Now, you hear this all the time, that Tesla is more than a car company, and that's certainly true. And I think their energy storage part of their business is going to become more and more important. They have a gigafactory in Nevada that focuses on making the power walls to store energy that you collect from the sun, from your roof. And they make more battery storage and more batteries for the their cars than all the other automakers put together. And I think this part of the business, it's kind of been a break-even thing so far, but I think it's going to go forward. I think they're reaching the point where they're getting enough customers and they're getting enough interest in their Powerwalls that they're going to be scaling at a much larger and higher dimension. The energy storage business, particularly providing battery storage for utilities. Utilities are forced to buy energy at extremely high prices when the demand calls for it. And they're very much wanting to get more battery storage. And countries like Australia are having Tesla put in major battery storage facilities. So this is something that I think is going to scale out. And I think it is a solution to climate change in many ways. If we can reduce the pollution from cars and get energy for our homes from solar panels, I think it will be much to our advantage. I know it's certainly already to my advantage. I have solar panels on my house in Arizona. You can imagine what my Arizona August heat bills used to be like. Well, they used to be, in August, they would be somewhere between $600 and $800, depending on the year. And now they're somewhere between $100 to $200. So, I mean, it works. It saves you money and it saves the planet. What is better than that? Another reason is that Tesla vehicles will get probably somewhat cheaper, but they certainly will be built even better in the future because of the use of gigapresses. Gigapresses are things that are used to make a part of the car all at once. They can already gigapress the rear portion of the car and the front portion of the car, and they're going to install gigapresses that will more or less stamp out the whole body of the car. So you literally will have one integrated body, which will make it much more durable. They are going to use this especially with the Cybertruck, but there's so much technology coming with this Cybertruck, and they are trying to make that vehicle perfect, you're going to see some changes in the design. I think the basic design will remain the same, but they're going to improve on it as they get closer to making it a single gigapress. They get these gigantic stamping machines from China. I think that's why China has an okay relationship with Elon, because he's the main consumer of these gigantic gigapress machines, which take some time to make, and which is in China's interest and in Musk's interest and in Tesla's interest and in our interest to get a better car that avoids using so many parts. One of Musk's thoughts is that the less parts you have, the best part is no part, he likes to say. And that's simply because the less moving parts you have, the less things you have to break. When you look into Tesla's involvement with batteries and realize that they have their own battery gigafactory, you can see that they have many options for what they're going to do. They secured mining rights on 10,000 acres of lithium clay deposits in Nevada. And also they have 5-year contracts with a supplier in South Carolina for lithium. And they also have 5-year contracts with China. China is the biggest lithium producer in the world. China is the Saudi Arabia of lithium. So these are some of the highlights of why I'm invested in Tesla. I'm also going to produce a video that talks about artificial intelligence, and they're moving into robotics, which is extremely interesting. As they solve the problem of full self-driving, they're basically solving much of the problem of human perception, because and if you get that problem solved, you have the basis for a robot. And so I think if anybody's going to do this, it's going to be Tesla, and it will be Tesla first. There's been other companies that have made forays and made progress into this, and I think Tesla could cooperate with them, and they could form partnerships that would deliver the first robot. With Tesla, I've already been to the moon, and I'm looking forward to going to Mars.